Man, Nipsey Hussle, man,
Tell me about
that's my dear brother right there.
Oh,
Nipsey is he's a South Central legend. He was a businessman. He was a leader, a teacher, a father, an entrepreneur. It's a real honor to be able to appear here and to show love on behalf of my friend, my brother, a great man, a great leader, a great father, a great teacher, and a great friend, Nipsey Hussle. He's a young man that just really had vision out of this world, so his legacy definitely will live on. You know, it's tragic that his death came at such an untimely, time in this world, but we understand that when God calls on you, it's his time.
Snoop Dogg just dropped the bombshell in court, and his revelation about Lauren London validated what the public has been murmuring for years. It appears that he doesn't trust Lauren's account of Nipsey's passing. The lies can no longer be concealed, because Lauren London has already been named in this case, and it is rumored that she may be asked to testify next. Snoop reportedly called out Lauren London in addition to testifying against Diddy. He thinks she had a minor but significant part in the series of events leading up to Nipsey's passing, and now it's all coming back to haunt him in this Diddy trial. Before we continue, let's discuss how close Nipsey and Snoop were. This isn't just a casual celebrity friendship. Snoop simply referred to Nipsey as the new Snoop. He is therefore aware of what transpired behind the scenes if he is speaking up. Snoop and Nipsey had a connection that went much beyond simply running into each other in the studio. Realized with the same goal of improving their people's quality of life, Snoop recognized a younger version of himself in Nipsey. Real and hungry from Crenshaw, they collaborated on songs like Gangster's Life and Upside Down, unleashing that West Coast fire and charting the streets. Snoop also claimed that Nipsey authored the words to his song 10 Toes Down off the 2016 Kool-Aid album, demonstrating a deep regard for his talent. To top it off, Nipsey declined to play with Snoop and Straight Outta Compton because he wanted to be Nipsey and not a copy, and Snoop was a huge fan of that move.
You learned from Nip.
To be you. This the G's ever did. They was doing Straight Outta Compton movie, right? So Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, all them calling me. Man, we trying to get Nip to play you in Straight Outta Compton. He ain't getting back to us. All right, let me holler at the little homie. Boom, I hit him up. Nip, let me holler at you, pull up on me. He come over to the spot. God, they want you to play me in the Straight Outta Compton movie. I'm happy as a motherfucker to tell him. He like, no disrespect, big homie, but I can't play you in the movie because then people gonna just know me for being you. I gotta be me.
And everyone felt a sense of camaraderie when they started chatting about the music community and plans for the young on GGN.
First place I seen it at.
Oh yeah, that's the unauthorized. We ain't gonna promote that one.
So where the store at right now?
No, it's on Crenshaw and Slauson. It's on the southwest corner of Crenshaw and Slauson. We got two stores. We got the clothing store and then we got a cell phone shop next door to it. And really, my brother was responsible for that. I gotta give him the credit.
Hustler, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed now, when Snoop Dogg attacked Nipsey Hussle in 2019, Snoop lost a sibling in addition to a fellow rapper. Snoop went up there and didn't hold back at Nipsey's memorial. His eulogy was honest and unvarnished.
It's a real honor to be able to appear here and to show love on behalf of my friend, my brother, a great man, a great leader, a great father, a great teacher, and a great friend, Nipsey Hussle.
He discussed how Nipsey was more than simply a friend. He was family, someone who fought for their community, had similar goals, and went through the same struggles.
Long story short, we ended up connecting, we ended up making music together, we ended up making a brotherhood, we ended up creating a bond, we created something that was special.
And Snoop remained faithful. Snoop was there, firmly retaliating as falsehoods and rumors began to circulate in an attempt to discredit Nip. Even in his tracks, he wasn't going to allow anyone to disparage his brother's legacy in social media interviews. Snoop stood up for Nipsey. We witnessed it with an homage to Nipsey Blue that he released on what would have been Nip's 35th birthday. Snoop always felt a certain way about Nipsey's removal and the fact that there were more influential people than simply Big U. Lauren London returns to this point because, based on recent court filings, Snoop may have kept his true feelings to himself up until this point. Snoop thinks the influential individuals responsible for Nipsey's passing are still safe, and he implies Lauren was aware of more than she disclosed. Given that Diddy's trial is now underway, Snoop Dogg's evidence could reveal some important details regarding Lauren London and her purported involvement in the case. People aren't buying the tragic hitline anymore, and if you've been following the story, you've undoubtedly heard the rumors that Lauren might have been involved in the events that led to Nipsey's murder. Word has it that this was a deliberate act. You see, Nipsey wasn't simply a rapper making his way up the charts. He was leveling up quickly and doing it alone, and certain people at the top were threatened by that type of power. On March 31st, 2019, Nipsey was only 33 years old when he was shot at least 10 times in front of his Marathon store. Eric Holder was apprehended and given a 60-year sentence.
60 years to life in prison. This coming here on this Wednesday out of Los Angeles. Of course, this is a live look in the courtroom right now. The Superior Court judge handed out the sentence to Eric R. Holder, who was found guilty of the 2019 first-degree murder of the 33-year-old Grammy-nominated hip-hop artist outside the clothing store Hustle, founded in South Los Angeles, the neighborhood where both men grew up.
However, people have been discussing on the streets. Eric was merely a pawn and the trigger man. Someone tugging threads from the shadows is the true mastermind. Yes, Diddy's name does keep appearing. According to rumors, Diddy didn't roll alone. Instead, he allegedly had an insider who was close to Nipsey and was giving him information that no one would suspect. Now,
hook up with the biggest rapper at the time. Everything's great. By the way, isn't she? Lauren is the one that introduced Nip to Diddy. Diddy couldn't even get to Nip, even though he had ties in L.A.
Additionally, Nipsey personally attested to it at the Breakfast Club. He claimed that Lauren took him to Puff.
No, I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after.
Many people now wonder if Lauren was Diddy's inside woman or just a girlfriend, and many think she was set up to keep Nipsey on a short leash so they could observe his movements and possibly even influence his choices. Snoop Dogg is now purportedly supporting this narrative. According to reports, Snoop thinks Nipsey's death wasn't the result of a random street feud or gang issue, and Lauren is more knowledgeable than she is admitting. Snoop has been vocal in pointing out that Diddy and Lauren's relationship was too intimate for comfort. Old pictures appeared that showed Lauren and Diddy seeming overly close, with Nipsey appearing as a third wheel in the background. Things became strange when Lauren interviewed Angie Martinez following Nipsey's passing. She claimed that Diddy was the one who got her through the difficult time, and she even cited a remark from Diddy. "Look, boo, you taught everyone how to love and support a man. Now, show them what it looks like when everything falls apart. That is your duty." That isn't just a phrase of consolation, that is a link with strings attached, a bond with layers. Lauren claimed that Diddy had given her the moniker Boo, which only Nipsey had ever used. This caused furious looks. Why, after all, would Diddy utilize a moniker that was so intimate between her and Nip? Lauren also claimed to have attended a death conference and a full grief session prior to Nipsey's passing. She had to prepare.
I went to a seminar about death.
Okay, you have to tell me. Were you just telling me this now?
I know, yeah.
Please share. Why?
I have a friend.
Why were you there, and what did you learn?
I learned that no one really dies, and that, it's just an experience in the physical form, and we're attached to our personalities, but that we're just souls, and that we continue and continue and continue. And if you have a spiritual relationship with someone on earth, you will have one with them when you leave earth. So I did this 2-day seminar on death. So,
and this was how long ago?
I had to be 25.
What sent you there? Do you find that weird though?
I'm weird.
No, it's not weird that you would go. It's almost like you were preparing yourself for what you would have to deal with.
Well, I told you I didn't have such a connection to Earth at a young age.
I know, but you don't find that as you were preparing yourself for what you were going to have to deal with.
Well, that we're all going to have to deal with.
Word has it that Nipsey lacked those industry connections and was a lone wolf, but Lauren had strong connections and access. And once she introduced Nipsey to Diddy, Puff became deeply involved in Nip's career.
Nip had no ego. So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me. You know, I want to get into real estate. I want you to teach me all your, you know what I mean, like your business secrets. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap. So a lot of people don't know this. We got them to change it in Wikipedia. Somebody over at the label tried to leave my name out, but he came to me and said, I want you to be a part of helping me finish up this album. And so I was a part of not just the records I was on with him on his last album. He was like, yo, I'm a big fan of like Life After Death.
Word has it that Nippy lacked those industry connections and was a lone wolf, but Lauren had strong connections and access. And once she introduced Nipsey to Diddy,
Now, you taking a spiritual person who's asking for something. He said, I wanted that same feel as life after death. That same feel was that Biggie got and he went on to sell about 10 million albums or 10 million copies. I was saying, you gotta watch what you say to demons, because it just might come true.
Gene claims that was Nippy's worst error because, after Diddy became involved, he dug his claws in deep and supposedly began plotting Nippy's downfall. People are now paying attention to Snoop's purported testimony because Snoop was close to Nip. Additionally, courtroom insiders revealed that Diddy's legal team presented fresh evidence implicating Lauren London during the middle of Diddy's trial. Yes, there are tapes that purport to link her to Diddy. Wild tapes allegedly depicting well-known celebrities enmeshed in Diddy's murky world have been the subject of circulating rumors. Freak-out parties and unlawful transactions, things that would leave people speechless.
You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
the shopping thing is
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood.
While many of those celebs admit to attending Diddy's parties, they are eager to claim that they departed before things became suspicious. But if it's that bad now, why do they keep coming year after year? With tapes purportedly linking Lauren to Diddy's inner circle, people are wondering if she was truly loyal to Nippy or if she was playing both sides. Additionally, why is Diddy's team promoting this story now? Could it be that Diddy is attempting to bring Lauren down with him as his empire implodes?
Drika, how would you describe Cassie's demeanor when she took the stand today?
When she walked in there, Rachel, she had on a brown dress, form-fitting, visibly pregnant, head held high, and did not make any eye contact with the defendant, with Sean Combs.
She also was testifying that, these physical threats, one thing that stood out to me that she said was, if she made the wrong face, the next thing I knew I was getting hit in the face. And she said he controlled almost every aspect of her life. He gave her essentially busy work, a to-do list, so he would know what she was doing at all times. If he couldn't reach her, he was incessantly texting her until someone went and checked to see where she was. She also said that he controlled her appearance. Sometimes he didn't like her hair, he wanted her to dress sometimes a tomboy. He wanted her nails to be white, she testified, especially during the freak-offs. And one thing that she said she was concerned about was blackmail, because a lot of these freak-offs were recorded, and the big concern was hers that they could end up in the internet if somehow she did something to upset.
A commenter on the internet stated, "If London betrayed Nipsey Hussle in the way he cared about her, I hope she goes to prison too." Nip didn't need Puff. Nip was doing it all by himself. He's from the hood. He had zero help from anybody. He was doing just fine until Diddy got involved. Nip wasn't about Hollywood, someone else wrote. Avoided all that. There was no emotion when he passed away, but one other person remarked, "I've been screaming from the beginning that she is guilty. This whole situation is now more than simply a trial. It's a convoluted game of loyalty, betrayal, and power." Furthermore,